Hello
Okay.
there.
Hello there.
You didn't hear what you thought you just heard.
Well, our music.
Okay. Uh,
Take a listen at this. A
Go on.
12-year-old boy was questioned by counter-extreme police officers after the school reported him. His crime? The boy had said that there are only two genders. Welcome to 1984. This happened in Britain.
Oh. Well, I understand everyone's entitled to their own opinions. What I want to know is, why is it that police care so much about those kind of messages, like there's only two genders?
Because they
When
work
when
for the deep state. They work for Klaus Schwab and his little goons. The BBC paid TV audience to appear at leaders' debate. So Channel 4 and BBC are trying to disrupt democracy. What they did to Farage is bloody awful. They planted a plant to make him look bad and stitch him up.
despite the fact it is genius, they can't do that. Regardless of what party it is, it doesn't matter if you hate that party so much. I think there are laws, legality that goes against that. Also, I'm not sure. But if it was any other party, that could be a different story, because everyone's eyeing up on Reform UK, because they're getting a lot of attention. A lot of the people are asking to give Reform
Young
lots of more
people,
airtime.
specifically young people. Young people.
Yes.
People in their early fucking 20s and younger. The people that actually matter. The old geezers. And even then, there's a lot of old geezers that are wanting to vote for them as well. I think they're going to be heavily surprised by the amount of young people that vote Reform in.
Yes.
They might lose a lot of the boomers because of this fucking shit with Channel 4 and BBC, but the ones the kids that are smart on and they realise they're both full of shite and can see through the bullshit will still vote for them. News: the claims that Channel 4 has never given any money to a planted actor, Andrew Parker, doesn't need much digging into to see what really happened here. As it transpires, a company called Lee Sorel Media sold the undercover footage to Channel 4 in an attempt to thwart any retrospective audits trails linked to Andrew Parker. Lee Sorel, 59, based in Barnsley, South Yorkshire, was the head investigation at ITV for 2004 and 2008. So he has connections to Channel 4. Apparently, you can get banned for using apparently you can get banned on Twitch for using the word tranny.
Yeah, as if like being banned for not being an attractive woman isn't enough.
Wait, you can get banned for that?
No, I'm saying is you could get banned for anything unless you were an attractive woman and showing some skin. Doesn't matter where.
Fuck.
But
is this a bad post?
What's a bad post?
Poll: who would get your vote for Putin at this point? Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Adolf Hitler, Bibi Netanyahu. 60% said Adolf.
If that's the conclusion, that's just embarrassing.
What is?
Like, I'm not.
The fact that everybody would vote over Biden. People would rather over Biden or Trump. People would vote Hitler.
Yeah,
The thing
there
is,
are people.
You
Go
love
on.
or hate him. He's the only guy that fucking went after those fucking Jewish banks.
True.
He's the only guy. He's the only bastard that got away, that went after them, gave them what was what, and basically shut down the Rothschild fucking shithole banks that control us. They hate him, but they say, oh, what did Hitler ever do for Germany? He brought it back from a fucking poor, desolate country. He gave them power. He gave more. He might have been. He wasn't a authoritarian guy, but at the time, people wanted change. We can question if he was true, if what he did was noble or not, but he did bring change. He was a man of the times,
and it was very clear to a lot of people back then, and even now, there was such a drastic change between then and right now.
Similarity. He's the one. Some people believe that he was even a Rothschild. He was a Rothschild stooge as well, even then. And the whole thing was to. Let's not be let's be realistically. World War II was all orchestrated by the Jews, all orchestrated by the big bankers. I'm not talking about the everyday Jew. I'm talking about the very elites. I'm talking
Yes.
about the Warburgs. I'm talking about the fucking Rothschilds.
It's
I'm
the
talking about
elites. The elites are the
the
problem.
elites, effectively, the rich families the rich aristocratic families that married into Jewish blood, that have Jewish blood running through them.
Yes.
Nobody talks about this. Oh, there's not an elite circle, right? They think why is it that everybody here has forgotten about the fucking rich aristocracies of Europe, of old world Europe? They act like it's all fucking disappeared, like all these aristocracies have disappeared. They haven't fucking disappeared. They're still
They're
here.
just not in sight. Because if they're out of sight, they're
Oh, they're
completely
still
out
in
of your
fucking
mind.
sight. Yeah, like they say, oh, it's like they act like the rich aristocracies and the elites don't still exist. They do exist. Where do you think all the money came from all those rich historic families? You think the Habsburgs don't have fucking money? You
Money
think
has
the
to come from
Wahlbergs don't have
somewhere.
money? You think the Swedish royal family don't have money? You think the people that fucking you think the descendants of the fucking Medicis don't have money? They have money. They still have money. All these people still have money. They
And
control the
with enough
wealth.
money, you
They're
can get away
fucking.
with anything.
They have money that's not even attached to the stock market. Every million. They say, what's
Now,
the
that
difference
begs the
between new money and
question.
old money? What's the difference between new money and old money?
Well, new money is like
Is new money the money
escaping
that
from.
came from the stock market,
Yes,
or is
new
the
money is
old
money.
money that came before the stock market?
Okay, so new money comes through cryptocurrency gains and the stock markets. Old money comes from years of generational wealth. It doesn't matter where it comes from, but regardless, well, however people made money, tens of tens of years or decades ago, and that wealth is passed on to
Not tens
generation
of
to
years,
generation.
thousands of
That's old
years.
money. New money comes from
Because a lot of
us,
people think that old money
people
only
right
came from.
now.
There's a lot, yeah. There's a lot of old money in the system. Who do you think runs Vanguard? Vanguard's basically old money, if I'm aware, and BlackRock's new money, full of old money, rich tycoons.
If it wasn't old money, it wouldn't be around and having the influence that it has right now.
Yeah, if it wasn't old money, most old money still is around. There's tons of countries, tons of nations that old money, right?
We just don't talk about that because
They
they don't
act
know
like
about it.
they also don't you think it's hilarious, Jamie? That they act like, oh, Canada's a free country, it's an independent country. It's not totally not a vassal territory of Britain, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
We've
certainly
ain't
not a.
given them freedom.
And
Just because
also,
we've given
Canada
them
is
freedom
certainly
in giving the
not a
country
breeding ground
independent.
for future young leaders for the WEF. It's certainly not
Yeah,
that, that's for sure.
they act like, every country's free and Britain has no power over its former colonies. That's a load of fucking shite, and we both know that. Canada is still a vassal territory of Britain. Australia is still a vassal territory of Britain, and a
So,
lot of the countries are still vassal territories. We still have our fucking men and women in power there, just in the shadows. We still control you through economic trade. Just because you're a tiny nation doesn't mean you're economically free. We still control them. Like, we still can have power over Ireland, effectively.
someone
Yeah,
has to
like,
be a scapegoat at some point.
someone has to be a scapegoat, and we had to effectively. We have. They say, oh, the British Empire collapsed. It didn't collapse. We became a bank.
And a
We still control
corporation,
people
for
through
that
money
matter.
and wealth and trade. We still control them through trade. Our empire, the British Empire, was not an empire built on strength and war. It was the empire built on trade routes. Our empire, America's empire, is built on war. Ours was built on economic control. We influenced them. We built infrastructure there. We built churches. We built economic hubs. We built trade routes. We made our money. The British Empire made their money through trade and economics. People think, oh, the British Empire at that time was effectively the Jewish Empire. Because all those businesses were run by Jews. The British Empire was the Jewish Empire. And America's the second great Jewish empire. But yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
So who do you think's going to win this election?
Which
Who's
one,
going to become
UK
the
or US?
opposition? Both.
Okay, so
Thought for America
already,
first, though.
okay, so in the US, whoever the Democrats can put in, assuming that someone convinces Biden to step down, uh, I think
If
it's inevitable for
they're
Trump.
going to have it, it'll go to Trump. But again, at this point, I'm surprised they don't just claim, "Oh, Biden died in his sleep."
Because that'd be
Right?
too obvious. People would question what's the cause of his
People are
death.
going to question it either fucking way. Either that. What's the other option? They
The
have him
re-
fucking shot.
the
Public.
reason the reason they're doing this because they generally want someone else to take over. They know that
Then why not
Biden
just
is not in
fucking
a good
get rid of him?
condition. Yeah, they're gonna get someone else
Just
to
get
do
rid of
it.
him. Have him off. It's not like everybody doesn't believe. Oh, are they scared that everybody will notice that he's been off? We already know he's going to be offed. We already know he's fucking a dead man. He's probably dead already. They're
It's
just
just
doing a freaking
I think they just want to pass
actor.
the baton to the next person in the running to be president.
Yeah, but the Democrats aren't going to fucking win. They pissed off all the fucking people, and even if they rig it, which I think they will probably rig it in the British elections, but they're going to rig it in the Americans as well. But I'm surprised they don't just have him off already. Like, at what point does he become a fucking social liability to them? These people aren't opposed to killing their own. Like, they murdered JFK. They attempted to murder Trump.
Well,
Who
if they
knows?
did to Biden what they did to JFK, again, people are gonna make that association and connection, and again, more questions could be
They will,
raised from
but
that.
they will. They will, though. But do you really think it, though, the American public are willing to open that can of worms? I don't think they are. They
No.
don't even. They're not willing to accept that they don't have a democracy. They're under a dictatorship. They've been under a dictatorship for so long.
Yeah, they want to take
The
the long way
American people
round.
think they were given democracy and freedom when they left us. They weren't given democracy and freedom. You're still a crown dependency. You're still under our protection. You're still under our country, our rule of law. Americans effectively have vassal territory of Britain. They think it. They think that they still have power, but who knows? Do you think? Who do you think America? Who does Israel answer?
You know what? Given that
Right.
Israel is a majorly Jewish country, that I'm not particularly sure, and I'm not gonna make any assumptions or whatever, because you know, one thing for sure, I'm pretty sure Israel wants to center its culture around the religion of Judaism. So to answer the question,
Yes.
it comes down to the structure and the way of life through Judaism. And once you know that, you might find the answer for yourself, and it might add up to some extent.
You don't think there's a power structure between Israel? See as well, Britain's been around for so long. You don't think there's a power structure where the Jews are in Britain, Jews that are still in Britain might have power over the Jews in Israel?
Well, I assume there's still some cooperation to this day,
You don't think
although
there's some
I'm
type
not
of
too sure about
maybe they've got
having
more
power
power
over
over
the
it?
other.
I think they. I still think there's more. With how powerful Britain is, I think still I wouldn't be surprised if they have a lot more power over that country. But they think there's a reason why the British people are allied with them and control, that are basically working to help them, right? It's because they're benefiting financially off it, more or less. That and Britain and America see them as their fucking son or grandson.
Another reason that could
America
be,
is Britain's son. America and America is Britain's son. Rome is Britain's grandfather. Rome's the grandfather of Britain. Britain's the father of America.
uh,
America's the father of South Korea and Japan, effectively, or adopted family.
yeah. You know,
Whereas Israel is effectively the grandson of Britain and America.
actually I see Israel as more of the girlfriend to the United States, because they've always been together
Well,
for a
how
long
much power
time,
they've
and
got over them. Also, did you know that the Israelis they had help the Jews had a helping hand in founding America. Some of the first settlements in America were Jews. Some of the first freaking plantation owners were Jews, and some of the first ever people that freaking some of the first people that started businesses in America were Jews. Some of the people the people that came to the New World, most of them with the big money in that from Old World Europe, were Jews. People don't talk about that, but a lot of the small population, but a lot of those people are the ones that brought all the money. Czech billionaire Daniel Kretinsky. That sounds like a Jewish name, doesn't it?
Kretinsky.
Czech Jew Kretinsky, yes.
It does
That last
give
name
Jewish
sounds
vibes.
Jewish.
Yeah, this gives me Jewish vibes.
It's taken over Royal Mail for $3.5 billion. His first step is to have mail deliveries, which will save $300 million by getting rid of staff. Prices will go up, employees down, services down, and every penny in profit goes to his tax havens in Ireland.
Tax haven Ireland. Interesting. Oh yeah, climate change, bro. You heard about that?
America, is there a deep state? Yes, there's a deep state. Listen to John McAfee explain. Of course, he's now unfortunately dead, most likely caused by the deep state. Fate loves irony. John McAfee was an actual very interesting man. People say he was schizophrenic, but he was actually very wise. He talked about the bullshit of the establishment. If I win presidential election, I will not support Ukraine and Israel. Do you trust him, Jamie? Trump basically said, if I win, I'm not going to support Ukraine or Israel.
I wouldn't get into that mud at this time. I do think there's a negotiation. There has to be, because I'm not supporting them, and I'm not against them either. But of course, I genuinely had enough of this shit. I had enough of these wars going on. But of course, they're still gonna happen because war and violence is profitable, and they're gonna make money out of that either way. But at this point, I just had enough, and I'm not even surprised anymore. But it's still gonna happen.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Ukraine. I'm surprised with what Ukraine's done. I'm surprised Russia hasn't retaliated worse. I personally believe Russia has every right to retaliate for what Ukraine did, for what NATO and America did, and I can see why Putin would probably be mad at our fucking country, mad at our politicians for what they did. Boris Johnson. There was a fucking peace negotiation, and that fucking slimy Israeli cunt had to fucking bullshit his way into that and fucking tell the Ukraine pretty much break up the Ukrainians' contract to fucking cease for freaking peace.
Yo.
So,
hello. What are we talking about? Like, the debate?
We talked about the election, talked about American elections. The fact that we think that we're unsurprised. We're asking why the fuck is Biden been off yet?
Yeah.
Why the elites haven't offed him? Why the Democrats haven't just offed the guy?
Yeah.
Or just fucking put him into retirement, or just basically just claim that he's an old geezer, right? Why? I'm surprised they haven't just said, "Oh, he died in his sleep." You really think the Democrats are going to question it? You really think the media's going to question it?
I think
say, "Oh, we're sorry." They're going to do the little hoorah celebrations, right, in the media, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Democrats will just be saying, "Oh, well, he died, right?"
Yeah, but I think
he wasn't going to win everywhere. I'm sure they would just say, "Oh, he died. Move on." You really think these people that fucking worship Satanism are going to really care if this bloke died? No.
But there are going to be some people that are just not going to let that go for some reason. There will be people that care about Biden so much they're not going to let that go. They're not going to hear we're not going to hear the end of that.
Yeah.
We still don't hear the end of fucking JFK, but
or Epstein.
We all know that the American government killed the guy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Apparently, RFK Jr. wasn't even invited to to debate either. It's crazy.
Yeah,
like he didn't.
Reform.
It's like the very fact
that the thing with reform's going to be a massive opposition.
See, the very fact.
No, the very fact that we've got in the UK.
The very fact that RFK didn't even get invited to to debate with Trump or Biden just shows, man. It's like.
Now you know how we feel with reform and them not getting invited to the big debates, right, against the actual leaders.
Yeah.
Reform's gotten into the little tiny debates, but he hasn't been able to get into the big ones. Even though he's bigger, he's scoring better in the polls than fucking Sunak.
It's like I said, bro. I would vote for
getting more attention.
I would vote for RFK, but unfortunately, I just know he's not going to win.
Not to mention, he's got the fucking young vote. The youngsters aren't going to vote Sunak or Labour. Only the idiots, the woke little idiots, the right ones that are conservative, they're not voting him. It's like it's like the youngsters think, oh, there's not conservatives. It's like the everyday British people don't. It's like the politicians don't realize that there's people, young people that would traditionally vote conservative. It's like they don't. All those votes are being taken by Nigel. Oh well. So what else is new?
Oh dear.
What happened? What happened?
So I saw this video on Instagram Reels. I'm not gonna say woman because she doesn't look mature for her age. This girl, she said someone spat in her food last time. So whenever she sends someone to deliver her food, they have to follow specific instructions such as putting her order in a cage, carry the cage around to the back door,
And cleanse
and there are
and cleanse it with crystals or something.
yes, lavender
Okay, here's the thing with
lavender
that.
something.
I could
Go on.
okay.
I'd tell her that. Like, look, dude, the guy's getting paid less than minimum wage,
Okay,
right?
here's the thing.
Go fuck yourself.
Here's the thing with that. And on top, and on top of that, she topped it all off with saying she'll tip them with a goodie bag, and it had a crystal in it.
These people are mentally ill. Like, fuck.
Like, bro,
They live in the real world.
I don't know, man. It's like, here's the thing.
He doesn't live in the fucking real world.
You know what the dumb thing about that is? He could easily spit in her food before he even delivers it. What's the point of all of that?
If I were the delivery driver and she was asking that bullshit,
doesn't
maybe I
make
would
any
spit in her
sense.
food.
It's like, so like
Probably does.
you're gonna make me do all that just because you got your food spat in before?
But how would you know that
her
her food would have been spat on before arriving?
I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is like, bro,
I'd just literally leave the freaking. I'd just say if it's been delivered and leave it on the fucking door.
yeah, I'm not doing all those steps, bro. Come on now.
Yeah, fuck. For what I'm getting paid, how much am I getting paid? Probably like fucking £6.
No, it's like, you
or
know,
$6 or something, or a tenner.
here's the thing,
$10,
bro.
right? And half that money's going to the company, and I'm getting the fucking
I'm-
the slave wage.
I'm just saying, man, if I'm gonna do all that, bro, you better give me an actual tip for my services.
Like, yeah, stuff like that, I'm okay with giving tips. I'd probably give a tip for it, yeah, right? But I never get the whole thing with Americans and that. Oh, we need to tip. You need to tip. You need to tip. It's like an obsession.
Yeah.
Why should I tip you for doing your fucking job? Like, I don't expect a tip for working. For working.
I don't know.
It's specifically that type of shit is specifically in cities and Democrat neighborhoods.
I think in some jobs, like people rely on the tip just as like, you know, for
What you mean, restaurant people?
Yeah, restaurant people.
I question it. Why the fuck are they paying your fucking employees a livable wage?
I don't know. I really
Or at least
it's
pay
weird.
them something.
It's business, baby.
Right, because the very fact that they have to rely on tips in order to, like, you know,
Yeah.
live, it's just kind of weird.
But I don't get I don't think that it's Walmart to be. I think it's underpaying staff as well to an extent. But for a while, I heard that employees in Walmart, in certain areas, they had to rely on freaking what was it like normal. I think it was state benefits or something like that, just to be able to live or something like that, even while working at Walmart. But who knows? I think they might change since they just updated their pay package. But so, who do you think's going to win in the 20? Who have you got? Who did you guys have in the debate last night with Biden and Trump?
It's definitely Trump.
Yeah.
Trump did not have to say anything,
so
and he still
things with
win.
Biden that made me think. I didn't even watch the full debate, but just seeing the gifs online.
I don't think Trump had to say anything, and he still win that debate.
There's still people saying, "Oh, Trump did bad," right?
Why?
He didn't do bad.
Yeah, he
I
didn't.
think people are only saying that because they don't like his views.
You also got to realize that the CNN was probably cutting half that shit.
Yeah, no,
right.
They
They were they were definitely manipulating it. Because they even did it a certain way where they basically could pause the guy.
I think at one point they were arguing about golf.
That is so weird.
Well, Trump would know about golf. He's a businessman in golf and he owns multiple golf courses. He's probably the best.
Yeah, of course he's going to mention golf at some point. But I never thought at this point in time.
Was Trump trying to sell Biden on a retirement
That's so weird.
to a Trump golf course?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Maybe.
I'll never get.
Maybe. He's always a businessman trying to get a good deal. Maybe he's trying to get the libs to freaking get buy into gold, the rich libs to buy into gold.
You know what's crazy? People immediately said, "Yeah, this is like a guy either in a mask or this is a Joe Biden clone." Because I think Joe Biden actually has blue eyes.
He was so raspy as hell. How can anybody say, "Oh, he's fine"? He was raspy as hell. He didn't even sound like he was there at the time.
I think in the first.
I mean, if this doesn't make you question nothing fucking will.
Yeah,
Your brain rot if you think he's right.
I mean, but hey, you know, people will only support him because they don't like Trump. Like, for instance, I'll be honest. You know, there are people who are supporting Biden because apparently, like, the Republican Party wants to get rid of these certain things, I don't know. I seen it on Instagram, like probably a couple years back.
They want to restrict abortion, right? They don't think I don't think you should be able to use abortion as a form of fucking contraception.
Right.
And that's what most of these fucking liberal women are doing. Using it as a form of contraception. I also don't like the fact that they think, oh, if a woman wants to decide, I don't want to be a mom, right? Yet the father should have to suffer and say, oh, I can't have a kid because the woman fucking got rid of it, when I do want to be a dad.
Exactly.
Nobody takes it into that.
Here's the thing, bro. When my sister mentioned that, I didn't say anything because I was like, I don't have a problem with that.
Because you're not gonna freaking get a good response when you get shouted at.
Huh?
It's true. Like, why the hell?
Yeah. Plus,
they also don't like his policy views about get them fuckers out of this country.
Yeah.
You can't have a country if you don't have bastard borders.
Oh yeah. Plus, yeah. I knew. I
don't like immigration, right? The Labour in the UK is exactly like the same thing. They want open borders. They want these illegals to come into this freaking country and definitely replace us.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
How can anybody be for that?
I was definitely for like the immigrants, like, you know, getting out, because it's like, bro, it's like, I don't.
Why the hell would you allow mass migration? Yeah, come here illegal if you want to come here. Maybe we could make the process maybe better for people if they want to come here, right? But
yeah,
should we be allowing illegal migration? We don't know who these people are. They could be fucking Russian spies. They could be Chinese spies. They could be Vietnamese spies. They could be fucking Iraqi people that want to start a militant coup. They could be Hezbollah. They could be like, we don't even know who they could be. They could be fucking former ISIS. They could be ISIS, for all we know.
Most of them don't even speak English. Like, that's the problem.
Exactly, that makes you question it. Why the fuck would we allow people that don't speak our way of language? And quite honestly, we don't know who the fuck they are. We haven't done a background check on these people. For all we know, they could be fucking terrorists.
Yeah, and they get all the
You could openly be giving the terrorists an access to fucking create another 9/11 in your country. Why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah, plus we're giving them all the hotels and whatnot.
Giving you hotels, you're paying for these people to launch terrorist attacks in your own country.
Yeah, I mean, like,
don't get me wrong. I know for a fact that terrorist attack in 9/11 was done by the fucking CIA and Mossad, right? But you never know. This could be open you up to freaking terrorist attacks by actual people, right? In Britain, there's people openly stated we want Sharia for UK, right? In what world would any sane British person allow that? It's like they're asking to be ethnically replaced, to have our laws and shit, right? These people don't want to adopt to our way of life. They want to import their way of life from the third world country shitholes.
It's one thing. It's one thing if you want to try to adopt to our way of life, man. But it's like, you know, don't, like, if you want,
if you don't, they need to be deported.
If your way of life is like so good, bro, then just stay in your country. There's a reason why they left their countries, because, like, bro, it's like it wasn't good. It just wasn't. It just wasn't.
No,
good.
the fact is that they thought they could mooch off our benefit system. That's the loopholes in the British and American system. We've got that. Our countries are that better economically, right? Or they got the illusion through all the freaking propaganda, the Western propaganda, right? They've been fed over the years that Britain and the UK are so freaking good, right? Good countries, right? They've been fed this fucking propaganda that our countries are great, right? We've got shit. Our country's a shithole. Russia's got better infrastructure than us. I've seen videos on YouTube of fucking Kazan, Tydler, Moscow, some of the rural area, and Novgorod, and all these areas, right, in Russia, right? Supermarkets, they say, oh, Russia it's a shithole, it's a third world country. I looked at it, didn't look that much different from us. But they look like they had better infrastructure. The supermarkets look better. Eric, in some of their supermarkets, they've got fresh fucking bread.
Wow. Fresh bread. Yeah, we
They've
have
got freaking fresh bread.
yeah,
They've got freaking, in some supermarkets, they've got freaking areas for fucking fish.
wow.
Fish counters.
Wait, fresh
That's
bread,
not
yet we
tightly
have
packaged.
fresh bread, yet we have plastic fruit. Crazy.
They got fresh bread, or bread. They've got fresh bread, fresh cakes. They got stuff that looks like it's been made on the day, or probably made somewhere else, right? But been made for it. They've got freaking fish count. They've got fish counters. They've got beef counters. They've got cheese counters. The closest thing that we have to that in the UK would have to be Morrison's, and even then, it was taken over by financial backers years ago.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm just thinking of going to my local farmers
What's the
market.
closest thing to that? What's the closest thing to that for you guys in America? Because
What's the closest thing?
I have like actual fresh counters where you have salami counters, sausage counters, you have like cheese counters, you have fish sections,
I
you have like a rotisserie section or something like hot chicken section. I can't see you getting that in Target. I can't see you getting that in Walmart. I can't see you getting that in Kroger.
Yeah, actually, I don't think we have a. I mean, I live in New.
Have that.
I mean, I live in New York, so I think a Walmart is in New Jersey. But I don't really know if they have like that stuff. But like for the most part, it's like
I don't think you would get that.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
Yeah, why? And yet they make it look like, oh, we're living so great, right? We're a third world nation. Yeah, they have all this stuff, and like the supermarkets put ours to shame. I don't know who's been snorting the Russian propaganda, saying, "Oh, they're a poor, desolate country." They're not a desolate country. It's not the freaking 1990s, the 1980s. They've adapted.
I'm surprised
They've become big, right? They make it sound like Russia is still a poor, desolate country. It's not a desolate country.
Yeah,
They also make it sound like China. They sometimes make it sound like China's a poor, desolate country. Not poor, they're richer than half of us. They've got good supermarkets. You don't think about China and Russia?
Yeah, I'm honestly
China and Russia, right? With all their technology, right, and all their technology in that, right? You don't think China could probably help North Korea become like a big country, right? Like they could build up their infrastructure. They could build up their houses. They could help build houses. They could help create good supermarkets, like export goods to freaking Korea. Like, would it be surprising? Do you think it's surprising? Do you think North Korea under Kim Jong-un might open up to the world and might actually start incorporating tech from China and Russia?
Well, maybe China, yeah.
And Vietnam.
No, not Vietnam.
Why not Vietnam?
I don't think North Korea and Vietnam have close relations as much as North Korea and China.
Relationship though. They just signed a deal where soldiers are going to be fighting. North Korean soldiers will be fighting with Russia and Ukraine.
Okay.
Is that a start to World War III?
No, I don't think people would care about something like that to say, "Oh no, it's World War III." Like,
I think America
is going on.
Desperate to get us into World War III so they can suspend elections. I think they would accept it.
Yo, guys, I wonder, are farmers markets even safe? Hello.
Possibly. However,
no, they're not. Remember, each farmer has to use certain seeds created by Monsanto to grow their crops.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Also, no.
I think that's in America, though.
Bro, what am I gonna do then? Like, just get sick?
No. Grow your own food. Make your own stuff. Create your own energy. Don't be reliant on other governments or local powers.
Yeah, the governments are gonna freaking turn all that off.
I'd love to
be independent from everyone else.
I'd love to do that, but I live in an apartment, so I have to kind of work with what I got.
True.
Yeah, so it's like when I actually get out of this apartment, I want to like go somewhere where I can like grow my own food though and be independent. But for now, I have to kind of work with what I got for the time being.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to kind of see where I can go, at least where I can buy food that's somewhat still edible and not plastic, and they're not trying to possibly kill. Because here's the thing: I have 5 fruit snacks left, bro, and I don't even want to eat those. Because like I don't know what it just tastes weird. It seems like something is sprinkled on them. I don't know what it is, but it's like I'm just gonna throw them away.
Look, people, there's not real food anywhere.
Which is why I want to someday grow my own food. Because
real food doesn't exist in America. Neither
unfortunately.
does neither in Britain, neither in the UK. Like, there's not real food does not exist.
It's just produce that's somewhat
Produce,
edible.
produce isn't real anymore. It's made in a fucking lab. Bananas are made in a lab. There's not been real bananas, at least not in the UK and Europe, for a long, long time. The closest thing you might have to real bananas is probably Africa.
Wow, Africa.
Effectively, yeah. And even then, you got to question it, right? Like, there is no real bananas. There's no real fruit because all the fruit that you see right now is genetically modified and put in from a lab. It's not grown. They're going to pretend that it's grown for the freaking amusement of it, but it's not grown. It's grown in a lab. Bananas are grown in the lab. Apples are grown in the lab. Carrots are grown in the lab. How do you think they avoid all those defects in the fruit and all the fruit and vegetables? Because it's been grown in the lab.
I've been seeing videos around where, like, every fruit is plastic now.
You've also got to watch for Bill Gates and his weird apple coating.
Yeah, like that's what I was talking about. Like, pretty much it's like, yeah, all of those fruits and all of those foods are plastic, apparently.
Supposedly, Berkshire Hathaway, after Warren's dead, he's no longer going to be giving money away to Berkshire Hathaway. No, he's no longer going to be giving money away to freaking Bill Gates. I don't think he's friends with Bill Gates anymore.
Why do you say that?
Just because of the fact that he basically left when Melinda Gates left the charity, he resigned. And he also said to himself that he's no longer going to be giving any more money to Bill Gates, his charity.
Got you.
When he dies, effectively.
Got you. Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe he wants to cut ties with him, right? When he's dead.
Maybe.
He just not want to do it now because his family looks very liberal, right? His wife basically wants to one of his family members wants to help with reproductive rights, and I think social justice.
Huh? Really?
So you mean effectively try and disrupt the way of life because that's what social justice is. Like social justice warriors. That's what they are. People that want to freaking disrupt the way of life.
Like, imagine
People want to.
putting
Change the way you live because of good morals. At least for the sake of good morals, they say.
People think
They don't have good morals. Why the hell is anybody a social justice warrior had good morals?
I'll be honest.
They don't know that.
Everyone thinks they have good morals, bro.
Everybody thinks they do, but doesn't mean they do.
Exactly.
I might think I have good morals, but maybe I don't.
They still want people to live lives the way they want to live.
I'm a money-hungry person, and quite honestly, I have questions. I haven't got ties to Jews through blood.
Honestly,
I question it anyway, because I don't really know much about my fucking grandfather.
Yeah,
I've said this before. My real grandfather.
Yo, Risk, I think you should take an ancestry test, man.
What, so I can give these bastards my DNA?
Oh.
Did you know that BlackRock bought Ancestry?
Oh.
Years ago, right? Why do you think that is?
The question is, what hasn't BlackRock have shares in?
They actively bought it for some reason. I wonder why they bought it, but they actively bought it.
So they can get people's DNA to see if, they're just like, we're just...
No, so they can eradicate anybody that doesn't stand with their way of life, effectively.
Oh.
Who knows, but...
So we can't trust anything?
Be skeptical of everything. Trust nothing. Be skeptical of everything.
I think the best we got is local businesses. But even then...
Not even local businesses to the extent. You've got to be careful with them, because some of them can be easily bought.
Matter of fact,
and they're non-existent now.
I'm gonna look up if there's something local where says this.
I think the best we can do is anyone that owns a business and those people in question, they are themselves conspiracy theorists. They do not trust any forms of government alignment or bribes from the government.
I don't trust every government. I'm skeptical of Nigel Farage, right? But I'm going to vote for him because, quite honestly,
he's the best.
He's the best.
People are arguing to say he's the best he's got.
He's the best option we've fucking got. I don't trust everything he says. I don't fully trust anything any of them say. I like his policies. I want him to get rid of immigration. I want him to get rid of immigrants. I think he's been stitched up. Do you think he's been stitched up by people that have been critical of immigration, right? And he's scared that if he doesn't bow down to these people, to a certain extent, he might lose his majority.
That is a good question.
Do you think he'll become the main political opposition to Labour?
I'm going to be real with you. And as much as a lot of people, including us, would like to see that happen, I don't think it's going to be like. I don't think that's
So who
likely.
do you think? How many seats do you realistically think he'll win? People suspect he'll win 18.
Um, I believe that's the highest they could win. The lowest Reform could win is 2 seats. One is Nigel Farage, and the other being Lee Anderson for Ashfield. Ashford, I don't know.
I think
Something
he's
Ash.
got. I think he's got a high chance of getting Scagness, and I think the people think he's got a high chance of getting Chinchester as well. I think he's got a high chance of getting Chinchester. I think he's got a high chance of getting Scagness, and he's got a high chance of getting Ashfield. And that is not talking about the Conservative, those seats at the Conservative Tories, whatever Tories are left, right, or whatever's left of the Labour Tory party that gets seats, right.
And also, there's South Holland and the Deepings. That constituency is the safest Tory seat, and even that is under threat to be taken by Reform. That says a lot.
People are suspecting that even people are saying that even Sunak could theoretically lose his seat.
Yeah, that there are
Freaking,
so many independents.
Like the Chancellor of Exchequer,
Yeah,
Jeremy Hunt in Oxford.
there are so many independents running for the Richmond seat. So of course, Rishi Sunak is under threat to losing his seat as well.
Do you think any of these guys, after they get elected, do you think any of them would join Reform?
Maybe.
They don't want to admit that, but if desperate times called for desperate measures, they would.
This could help. What about Galloway? Do you think John Galloway, the guy that got that Galloway would join Reform?
George Galloway, you say?
Yes. The Workers' Party.
I don't know how to tell you this, Risk. George Galloway is on the left.
Is he on the left?
Yeah, the Workers' Party. The Workers' Party.
He seems that the Workers' Party. Sure, that's on the left. That seems pretty. I thought some of their policies were pretty right wing, to be fair. But
well, yeah, he is. George Galloway, like Farage, has been very critical and has definitely spoke his mind in the past, and even spoke against the U.S. Senate in the noughties. But of course, I do think he has somewhat of a left wing viewpoint in politics.
yeah, who knows?
But I do think that if ever comes to be, Galloway and Farage would certainly work together, because only those two have the guts and the ability to speak their mind to go against what's going on in society. And the thing is, a lot of people aren't going to like that. The normies aren't going to like that. So already that's going to cause much more controversy than there already is from the two separately. There's going to be lots of press about that.
Hello?
Hello there.
Oh, yeah, just got silent.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think there is potential.
Yeah. No.
And I know a lot of people aren't going to like that, that these two have somewhat of a platform, and there's people like agree with them. However, at the end of the day, the people have spoken, and that's it. End of discussion.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is crazy. So, anything else in the news? Check.
Let's say Shadow, Scary.
Oh yeah. I think
Go on.
I think like the Oh yeah, right. There was the difference? Did you see the video where it's like the difference 2012 debate versus 2024 debate?
Oh yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Actually.
And it's like it's with Barack Obama, and it's like even though we know about Barack Obama, it's like, bro, that debate was more civil than more mature than than the current
what.
I mean, I'll be honest, they were definitely more composed this year, but it's like it was still kind of going back and forth, etc. At the end of the day, what are you really gonna do?
Yeah, well, I think the key difference between 2012 and 2024 is the fact 2012. The thing is, we all know that whichever is the main party in government and whoever is opposing, there's always going to be two wings onto the same bird. And what you would have seen in 2012 debate in the US is essentially that. Despite the fact they represent different parties, they they could actually agree on the same things. Whilst in 2024, there is someone that is pretty much opposed to the system that's working within existing governments. That a lot of people would argue. And because of how many people are supporting someone that is verbally speaking out against what's going on within the states, the whoever's with is working behind the scenes in the who has the puppet masters, I might say, they'll do whatever they can to make sure that they maintain and cling on to the powers that they currently have.
Yeah, pretty much.
So of course 2012 is going to be more civilized, because back then there hasn't been anyone that is there hasn't been anyone that is anti-establishment enough until now. There's going to be at this point at least one or two people running for government or office that are visibly shown to be anti-establishment.
I question if they're even anti-establishment.
But even if they're not anti-establishment, at least there is going to be someone that knows exactly what's going on, and they'll do what they can to put an end to it. It may not be the best scenario, but it is as good it will get.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm really still trying to look into the ancestry thing. I want to do that when I get because I am curious. It's where my roots lead back to. But anyways, yeah. As for the establishment thing, it's like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, they can say some convincing things, and maybe they are anti-establishment to an extent. But it's like ultimately they know their lane. They know what's safe to say and what's not safe to say. And pretty much, yeah. It's like, in this case, like, I think when it gets to a certain like, degree, they just give the people what they want, and they just watch you. They see which people are dangerous and which people are considered dangerous and are considered, like, this type of person, and then they just put you in a box. You're like, okay, cool. This person believes in this person believes in that. I think in terms of like social media, which is why they're probably letting certain people back on, just to see who agrees and who doesn't agree, and who follows them and who doesn't follow them, etc.
And the reactions that comes from that.
Exactly. And yeah, so like that, yeah. Like, why do you think they let like Alex guys like Alex Jones or like Nick Fuentes back on? Because, like, they're probably tracking the people who agree with them, so they can ban. So, like, possibly sooner than later, they can ban them.
It's like an experiment.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's like they talk about, yeah, freedom, but in reality, they're giving you this. There's a catch to it. They're giving you this freedom for a reason, not because they want, not because they care, but it's because, like, bro, they're putting you in a box. They're jotting you down right now. They're like, okay, this person believes in this, so sooner or later they're gonna take their freedom away. They're not gonna have anything else to, like, go to, except probably, like, alternative websites like Rumble, or maybe an alternative website named Getter, but that's about it. Or any other social media platform that's not as popular now, that will probably be popular to many other influencers, like, later on in life.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the most part, they just put you down in a box, which is why it's safe to be a good mutual. Which is why it's safe to be mutual to an extent. Obviously, like, say this, say that, etc. But don't say too much. You can agree, but it's like, don't put yourself all the way in a box, because you're just gonna put yourself in a box, and, like, you're just gonna be stuck in this ideology and just can't change your opinions. So it's like, you got to be mutual to some degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, you'll never really know what happens. and it might save you. But yeah, that's just me though.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also looking at like this one post where on Twitter where it was talking about a new presidential candidate is on the way. We all know who it is. And
Even if he says, "I'm not going to run for president," I am pretty sure that he pretty much has to anyway, because they believe
wait,
he's
who's not running for president?
uh people are assuming Gavin Newsom would be the candidate on the Democratic ticket.
Oh, okay. But why isn't he running for president?
He says he doesn't want to run because he still wants to pass. He will still wants to be governor of California,
Got you.
and because of and given the thing and given the I'm not sure how would you say this, given what he has, given the position that he has in California, and pretty much popularity amongst other politicians within the Democratic Party, I'm pretty sure, and it does make sense why a lot of people that are Democratic supporters would want Gavin Newsom to be in the running to be the next president.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, a kick streamer said your month is almost up and it's over for you. Back to the closet you go.
Ah. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I remember another episode long ago that whilst we were in the first half of Pride Month, I've said wait until the second half because you never know what's going to happen. And a day or two ago, last few days approaching the end of Pride Month, there's been like an overload of content relating to Pride Month because everyone's been distracted with all the major events such as what's going on in Gaza and whatever elections going on in around the world.
I'm
So yeah,
to lie to you.
I could give zero fucks about Pride.
Me too. Yeah, it's like I'll be honest, it didn't really feel like Pride this month. Fortunately.
yeah,
Dude,
there's
I'm
so much
glad
going on.
they actually. I'm just glad they didn't have the freaking pride flags up in the supermarket. We had Scottish flags up. We didn't
Nice.
have the freaking pride flag up, which I'm glad.
I still saw some, but not that many.
I didn't see any pride flags apart from a little sign up at the front of the door.
I'm not gonna lie.
Nobody believes in it. Everybody knows it's a load of shite. It's just a marketing ploy for them to virtue signal. Nobody gives a fuck.
Is it just me, or is the new Pride flag just ugly?
It's demonic.
It is.
Pride's demonic.
It is. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, yeah, it's just not a nice look. I don't know how people proudly like, have that up, bro. It's not a good looking flag.
Because they like to virtue signal. They like to say, I'm a progressive person. I care about your ideals and all that when they don't. Democrats are some of the most racist people I've ever seen or met. They're closeted racists.
Yeah.
Republicans to a certain extent and conservatives to a certain extent can be racist, but at least they're fucking honest with me. Would you rather someone be honest with you or someone that's closeted racist that is
or like,
too scared to fucking tell you how they really feel?
Or like, pretty much virtue signal.
I'd rather have someone that freaking tells me how it is, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I prefer honesty over anything.
Yeah, instead of just saying, "Oh, it must have been so hard for you to like overcome it."
Wait, it's actually what some of these wokesters like in New York.
Yeah, it's like it's like some people be saying like, "Oh, it must have been so hard for you to overcome this," and that now it's. I don't know. That is kind of ironically racist in a way, like for the very fact, it's like, yeah, that's ironically more racist.
I'm not saying all Republicans are racist, but I'm sure there's some of them there. But again, would you rather them be honest with you or just lie to your face?
That's up for honesty.
Have been lying effectively for freaking 2 decades.
I feel like in some cases, if the girl was pretty enough, people would let it.
Yes.
Of course, people will let the side of it. It's lookism. It's lookism.
Exactly.
And this is coming from a guy that is good looking himself. I'm good looking, and even I agree that lookism is people being biased towards people that are just attractive.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking about like this one show called Everybody Hates Chris, bro, where like where his teacher was
I've heard of that show.
where like
Oh man,
Chris had to
that's
like. I mean, her intentions were good, but like she was kind of racist.
How is Disney going to compete against Universal and theme parks? I don't think they've got anything. I think effectively Disney's going to be. I can't see Disney doing well this year.
no.
Bro, Disney's still a thing.
It is a thing, but again, what have they got? Like, what have they got
Well,
realistically got? They got Deadpool, right? Oh, the media keeps them crowding. Oh, Inside Out was such a hit. It was such a hit, right? They did 200 million, right, in the box office, right? But compared to Inside Out 2 did 200 million or 180 million or something like that, right? In its first opening week,
Speaking of
right?
which,
But again, if you look in comparison to Inside Out 1, it did 800 million before it went
yeah,
off to be a freaking. It did at least 200, 400 million before it became a blockbuster success and did 800 million at the end of its career in the box office.
you know what's crazy? I'm pretty sure that came when I was in middle school too.
Yes. The
Yeah,
sad thing is, though, Disney, if they were to remaster some of their great movies like they did in the past in the early 2000s, they'd be successful. They make money. Because people
yeah.
don't want the fucking the woke stereotypes. People just want entertainment.
I agree.
Parents are not going to fucking shove their kids in front of something that's going to be freaking woke.
You know what? I'm surprised they didn't remake
What?
the Princess and the Frog with that black princess. I'm surprised they didn't remake that at all.
Probably didn't do enough numbers, if I'm being honest.
Eh,
Probably it
maybe.
was a diversity thing, right? And it didn't do enough numbers. It didn't hit the quota of numbers they wanted to hit. But
Yeah,
saying that, they do like to shove a shitload of Star Wars shit. I don't make money.
I'm not gonna lie, but that's never really stopped them. To be fair,
Yeah, they wasted money on like freaking Oscillate, and effectively, I think a Rogue One spin-off, which I don't think ever did well. But the funny thing is, though, they had a shitload of fans back with Mandalorian, right? But they fucked it. They had to fuck it up, like they always do.
I'm not gonna
They
lie.
almost won shitload of people back after freaking effectively after the Rise of Skywalker.
You know, this is unrelated, but you guys know Phineas and Ferb, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
TV show. They're supposedly that desperate they're trying to bring that back.
I'm just wondering because I know we look at that very fondly with good memories, but what was exactly so great about it? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm just saying every episode was the same thing.
I think it was the animation style.
Yeah.
Maybe because
Animation style,
don't get
early
me wrong.
2000s tropes, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, definitely it was like a mid 20. I think it was a
Yeah.
2010s thing. So I was like, obviously you were able to get away with like episodes kind of being the same concept every single time. But I'm just saying, like, I mean,
Also, the population I don't think was as woke as it is now.
yeah, I don't hate the show though. I'm just saying it's
I
like,
don't think it was a bad show. I'm skeptical if they drive away too much from the formula, they could lose out, and they
yeah,
could fail.
Yeah, I think a lot of people love familiarity. That's why Phineas and Ferb was so popular.
I think Prime Video is
not
doing
gonna lie.
Prime Video's doing extremely well. Fallout was a good series.
You know, what I was more interested in with the Phineas and Ferb.
Well,
If Isabella was gonna end up with a Phineas, that's what I was like interested in.
yeah,
That's
the
why.
storyline.
Yeah, that story. That's probably why That's mainly why I would rewatch it because I was always interested in storylines like that. And eventually they did end up together, but it was when they
They're
were going to.
supposedly trying to get Gravity Falls back and running. They're trying to get Alex Hirsch for Gravity Falls back.
I thought he didn't want to make anymore.
Probably didn't want to make, but money talks. They can get I think they're trying to get him back because I think they want stuff.
Oh,
succeed.
yo, I heard that they're making a new regular show series.
I think a spin-off show. I don't know if I'm making a regular show TV series. I think DC, the Cartoon Network and DC, they're looking to make greenlit a bunch of shows, right?
Yeah, but
I think they're looking to sell these off to like Netflix or Prime Video or whoever,
honestly,
or Hulu or whoever. I think they're going to just make these shows, try and sell them to the highest bidder, whoever wants to buy them. I think Amazon Prime would probably buy regular show. Maybe add that.
I do have high hopes for the show because the original creator is coming back. So it's like, you know,
because they bring the ritual connect, it doesn't mean is Zaslav and his goons going to freaking come after the guy, and effectively is the DC goons or whoever the Cartoon Network left wing shills, are they going to freaking be freaking crouching on his style and effectively gerrymandering on what he can and cannot do?
That's true. I think they are making an Adventure Time movie for some odd, which I'm probably also gonna watch.
I think they're trying to make a Finn and Cake series as well. I heard
about
Paramount, they're supposedly making they're going to be making a shitload of Avatar stuff in that, like Last Bender, Airbender, a bunch of stuff like that. They're going to be trying to make stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and as for the Fiona and Cake thing, they did make that already. It was good. I'll be honest. I know that it was good for the most part. I mean, like it was.
They should try and
modern. It was modern.
Warner Bros. Should make make a new version of Grim and Mandy and put that on.
Not a bad.
Yeah, make a new series of that. Maybe make a series where maybe they're aged a little bit. So maybe they're not 10 anymore. Maybe they're 15, 16.
Yeah. So
maybe they're going into high school or something like that, or going off to high school, and then a couple of years later, maybe you can do a remake where they go to college, and then you could have them having kids and
I feel like
all that shit.
I feel like it'd be like woke though. You know, them in high school, all that.
They might be able to poke fun at it.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, but it's like it couldn't be on Cartoon Network.
I was thinking it for Max. Make it for Max. It would be a good series.
Didn't they remake Beavis and Butthead or something like that?
Probably. I think Chandler could be a remake of Chandler could be interesting.
I'll be honest, man. Like, you know, they're remaking a lot of things because I guess
they want surefire fucking successes. They don't trust them. They don't trust the fucking new woke talent. They don't trust their talent. They don't trust their employees to fucking make good content. It's going to make money. They know their fucking employees are too infested with the woke mind virus. Zaslav to me doesn't seem like a fucking leftist. To me, he seems like a fucking cold hard businessman that's been strung along by employs a bunch of left leaning lunatics. David Zaslav seems like a sane and reasonable man.
So like he knows. So like pretty much he knows.
He's a sure drum businessman. He's a man that like freaking wants to make money, right? He's
knows
not like Iger, that'll kiss the ring.
He pretty much knows what's gonna say.
He's freaking Zaslav's very much invested in Warner Bros. Like he's got a major investor, right, backing him, right? And he's basically his protege, right?
Yeah.
Zaslav effectively was put in power by this guy because this guy, his backers, investors, right? Zaslav's an actual CEO, right? An actual businessman, right? He's not one of these corporate fucking shills that was hired from Comcast and all these things, right? Maybe he was early on, right? But he was groomed by an investor, right? A very big guy in media, right? And he basically to inherit his dynasty, right? Zaslav owns a major stake in Warner Bros. And effectively they're going to try and rebuild Warner Bros. And Zaslav was very good at cutting out shit, cutting out the woke shit, cutting out the shit, and effectively just making content that makes money. He's very good at doing shit like that. I think Warner Bros. Over time will do extremely well, right? But he needs to get rid of the woke shit. He needs to get rid of the woke stuff. He needs to get rid of the useless employees. And I think that's what all of these movie studios did. They did. During the pandemic, they got rid of a bunch of people. During the freaking strikes, they got rid of a bunch of people.
Oh yeah, the acting strike, right?
Yeah, acting strike. They got rid of a shitload of people, right? And that's what Zaslav wanted. He wanted to freaking get rid of these people. Get rid of the useless fucking hacks that are useless and are not going to make me money. He's a cold hard businessman, Zaslav. I don't hate Zazzle. I actually prefer him to Iger. He seems like someone who actually is probably good at making money. It's just he's been given a shitload of departments that's been infested with woke ideologues for years, and he has to fucking trim the fat and get rid of the useless. And the useless will probably go over to Paramount or go over to other ones. He's also got to contend with all the good talent. They moved over to Skydance, Larry Ellison's sons,
I'll be
freaking Skydance, which is effectively potentially trying to acquire Paramount.
I wonder how is that. I wonder how that new Fairly Odd Parents is doing.
What TV series? I thought they got rid of it.
Oh
No,
they got
this is a new one with a new animation style. It's like
Wait,
CGI.
Why the fuck would you remake something that was shite that failed the last time? Try again.
I don't know, man.
How would you do that? That just sounds like suicide.
It's like, here's the thing. I don't know personally. Like, I'll be honest. They should have just rebooted the show with a different character. Like, I don't know, with Chester or something. The guy needed fairies, but like, or they should just let the show die. The show's ran its course. Just let the show rest in
Like
peace.
many shows, just leave it be.
Exactly.
I'm surprised they didn't try and do a spin-off of Drake and Josh.
Now, I don't think Drake would agree to
Drake
Yeah.
Bell.
I don't think Drake Bell would necessarily agree to that. I'm not sure where his headspace is at. But yeah, for the most part, as for Fairly Odd Parents, like, look, you tried it once. Oh, like it doesn't have potential like Teen Titans does. Because at least
I think Josh Peck would probably do it. Drake Bell, maybe not so much.
Oh, okay. Yeah, pretty much. Drake Bell, not so much.
Josh Peck, I think, would do it. He came back for iCarly.
Oh, yeah. Wait, Drake came back for like iCarly, you said?
Josh
Josh
Peck. He came back for iCarly.
Yeah.
Joined as a part of the cast. I think he'd probably be down.
I think he
in
would.
fact, he's already worked. He's worked with Megan Cosgrove before, right? Because she was effectively on that show.
But yeah, for the most part, there are certain shows that don't have the potential for a reboot. Like,
which shows do you think wouldn't have potential for a reboot? Do you think Adventure? Do you think Amazing World of Gumball would have? I suppose they're making a new sequel of that.
I think they left because they left the fans off on a cliffhanger. I think it has potential for like probably 1 or 2 more seasons. Then
even if they spin it, even if they do a time skip of 5 years for their teens.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Maybe they could. That would be a better idea. Maybe they can do like
time skip of a couple of years. I think that's probably the better.
That's definitely like probably the better option. It's like if you're gonna make another season, then maybe age them up a bit, make them more relatable to the youth. Relatable. Make them a little bit more relatable. Then do a time skip. I think that'd be great.
What other series would probably be able to?
Well, what are the series? I'm not gonna say Chowder. No,
I don't think that. No. Not that one.
Yeah,
Adventure Time might be a good series.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot they can do with Adventure Time. I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot they can do with
possibly.
I mean, it ended on a good note. It ended on a good note, but there's still probably a lot that they can do with it. Regular show, it's in between. Like I don't really know if it has potential, but based on what they're doing, I want to see if it does. I want to be proven wrong. I hope they do have like lots of potential left. Because frankly, the old series, like I'm glad it ended because it was getting a bit stale. Although the episodes are good, it was getting stale. They were running out of ideas, clearly. I'm just glad it didn't last as long as SpongeBob did, or I'll be honest.
They haven't tried to do a remake of SpongeBob.
Oh no, don't do a remake. I'll be honest. They should have ended that in 20.
When did they stop that series anyway of SpongeBob? Probably got to be one of the longest TV shows.
It's still going.
Oh, SpongeBob's still going.
Wait, is it?
Yeah.
Animation just got worse.
Well, only it make money. It wasn't making as much money, so I'm guessing they shut down the animation.
Yeah, no, it's like, bro, the animation is just not as smooth as it used to be. I mean, it's
goofy.
It's very goofy. I mean, SpongeBob has always been goofy, but it's like the animation has always been like sleek, and it's always been
visually pleasant to look at.
Yeah, but like I seen one clip of the modern SpongeBob, and the
It
animation,
just looks uncanny.
it does.
Yeah.
And on top of that, their stories are just getting worse for each and every episode. At least with the stories from like earlier on, bro. It's like the stories were somewhat good, but it's like, bro, their stories are just. I'll be honest. They should have just ended the series in late 2017 or 20. Sorry, yeah, like
Yeah.
because it's like the series has run its course. It had a good run, and it's just not the same. I'll be honest. They should have passed the torch down to this one cartoon that was like that's on Nickelodeon. I think it's called The Loud House. I used to watch that a little bit back when I was younger. It was pretty decent. They should have just handed that torch to The Loud House
Yeah.
because like it's. I think it lasted. I think The Loud House is like the longest rate. Like it surpassed Hey Arnold. So it's like they should have just handed that torch down to like The Loud House or something, anything, and just like play old episodes.
You don't think they would do a spin-off series
of what, SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Oh please,
They there's no they won't. Especially at the state of SpongeBob is right now. There's no way, and especially in the interest of the creator, no spin-offs. Not now, not ever. And if they do, well, they screw themselves
Is
over
that
at
the
this point.
reason why he never?
Bro, they tried to do that with the Patrick Show. What happened to that? Is it still going?
Nope, it got concluded, or at least it did. I haven't heard much of it about it since.
Of course it did, bro. Patrick didn't need a spin-off.
He never did.
I remember a long time ago they were teasing for Squidward to have a spin-off, but I'm glad they didn't do that. None of these characters need a spin-off.
True.
None of them.
And it's against the creator's interest. He never wanted spin-offs. Never have, never will. And they still do it anyway, since his passing.
Exactly. And the animation's gotten worse since his passing. It's like, bro, it's like, just make the movie. I will personally purchase a ticket. Just make the movie and end the series there. I will watch the movie. Why not?
End of.
I'll support the movie if they just end it.
Just end the series. It's run its course.
It has.
Yes.
And then they made like 2 other movies afterwards? After like Sponge Out of Water.
Desperate for money.
They made Sponge on the Run or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Sponge on the Run, Sponge Out of Water. That's 2 movies I remember recalling.
Was that the live action or non-live action?
The live action was Sponge Out of Water, and the non-live action was Sponge on the Run.
Yeah, and Sponge Out of Water was a banger. I love that movie.
Yeah.
It was I'll be honest, I remember the movie theater was so full when that movie came out. The movie theater was so full. Adults, kids, everyone of all ages came to see that movie. It was I remember that. It was awesome.
Do you think does Paramount own South Park?
I think they do.
Yeah.
They?
Yeah.
Of course they do.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it.
Exactly. So when's the American elections? When
This one right now is over.
Yes.
So after 2024 presidential elections, 2028.
Do you think Stormer will be in power in the UK for a decade? Do you think the country could take him being in power for a decade? Do you think he'll get ousted after a year?
I think he might be ousted at least in 2 years. But that personally, that's a bit too soon. We don't know.
Do you think he'll get replaced by someone else, or do you think?
Yeah, I do think there would be a new Labour leader during Labour's government.
So when can we out? So when do you think we'll be able to call a general election, find someone else?
To find a new Labour leader or just a new government to form.
How are we going to be able to do that when they're never going to really allow a general election?
I don't know how they couldn't call another election. It has to be 5 years and a 5-year anniversary from the previous time it was being called.
Okay.
So the latest.
So they actually do call an election because effectively they didn't have to do that. Effectively didn't have to do that because they just replaced the guy before that, and then they never have to do that.
Yeah, all they have to do is just replace the leader every 2-3 years.
And they can
Then
stay in power for a limited time.
yes, but even then, there still had to be a time that even if their time in power has been short, as within 5 years after the previous time, as the last time the general election was being called, someone at some point has to call the next election, whether they like it or not. It's non-negotiable.
Do you think we should literally try and change that, make it written into law that after 5 years there has to be you have to call a general election even if you freaking sack the bloke?
I think that already exists.
I would like it to be written in law because I can tell you that they've. If you say every 5 years, Jamie, right? Why the fuck? So when was the last election, right? So the last election for the Tory in the government was like 2016, wasn't it, or 2019?
2019.
2019. The one before that was 2016, wasn't it? Or was that 2015?
Dang, I think it might be 2015. I see what the point. I see the point you're making. Yeah, that is complicated, but of course, it the rough threshold is 5 years. It could be a little over, but certainly a little less at the
It
same
needs to be
time.
stuck. Something needs to. I'm for. I think we need to get rid of first past the post.
I agree. Give the smaller parties a chance, but they won't allow it because Labour and Conservatives will not
They'll
have
fucking
the power
demand
they
it.
have.
They'll demand it through elections.
Yeah.
Is it theoretically possible for Reform to become a massive party?
Right now, no. They're a new party and they're just gaining momentum. I would say once Labour gains the power, in a few years,
If they get 18 seats, right? If they get 18 seats, right, is there a possibility that they could effectively become a major party over time?
at the rate that it's growing at, they can be at the level of Lib Dems.
Could they effectively? Would they be effectively be able to? Would they be effectively be able to take massive steam from the Tories?
Yeah, I do think after it
Could they?
reaches the level
So
at
what
Lib
happens to
Dems,
the Tories after this election, right? If they don't get any votes, right? Do their MPs eventually just merge into Reform?
if it's ever a point that the Tories has performed so poorly, what choice do they have? Of course, they would have to find ways to either keep the sinking ship afloat or just jump ship and move over to.
I think there's a lot of candidates that are interested in joining Reform. I think
Yes, but they
Suella Braverman would probably join Reform.
yes, but the thing is, they don't want to admit that. They don't want to say, "Oh no, the Conservative Party is a sinking ship." They don't want to say that. If they want to join Reform, they would, but they won't say that. They want to keep the narrative that
They want to
the
keep
Tories
their
are
they want to
doing
keep their
well despite
election,
about how
right?
badly they're doing.
They want to wait until they're going to wait. They're going to secure their seats, right? And then they're going to admit, but we're transferring ourselves to Reform.
It's not going to be that quick, but eventually a time like that will come
A lot of these guys will effectively move over to Reform.
when we least expect it.
Not when we least expect it. I give it 5 months. After the whole reason why Nigel wants to kill this party, kill the Tories, right? Because he wants to build a new party that's actually a conservative government. Because right now, what is actually conservative about the Tories right now? They're a high tax, but they're taxing for high taxes. They're not really business friendly. They're more liberal than anything. They care about giving more higher taxes than the freaking than Labour. Like what's conservative about the Tories? I don't see the difference between Tory or Labour. They both seem
Where's the tradition? That's what conservative is.
The Tories aren't conservative. I don't see anything conservative about them. They're about high tax. They're against business. I honestly don't see the difference between them. I don't see it, and I honestly don't think there's much difference. I think there's both as bad as each other, and I think when you look deep down, what's the difference between Tories and Labour? Same thing, same party. and they're not really they're not even a conservative government. They're not even right wing. They're not a conservative government. What I hope reform does is I hope reform tries to creates a right wing party, makes the conservatives an actual conservative party. That's what I hope that the reform can do, but who knows if they can. So what else is there? Is that us?
Yeah.
Okay.